Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to the channel. It has been a hell of a long time since we did any content on the cars, and that has got to change. So today, my focus is all about the cars and, more importantly, the garage. We have done some epic work on this garage, and that's where I think it's really going to be interesting, because this is essentially an ordinary double garage that you may have at home. Well, especially if you're in America or Australia. In the UK, these are a lot less common. I'll talk through that a little bit later on, but for now, we're going to be doing a whole lot of work on this garage, an immense amount, to turn it into a really cool automotive place for this and what lies behind that door. Now, let's get on to that, because you've seen from the thumbnail, it's not the only car I have in the garage. I have two. There is the Kia Stinger. This is the 3.3 litre twin turbo, nearly 400 horsepower because it's factory. They're about 375 from factory. This is the big gun GTS in the United Kingdom. It's the top of the range model. And in there, well, that's our 3 litre twin turbo 1994 Toyota Supra. Now, you also may notice, if you've seen any of my other videos, this was a hideous old double garage design. The previous owners of this garage, let me step away a bit to show you from a distance, this thing was nasty. The paint was peeling, the brick looked awful. We had to get a specialist company in to actually knock out a pillar. Yes, they had a pillar in the front here. You can actually see where the old pillar was down there. We had to get that knocked out, and for structural reasons, we had to get a whole new RSJ beam all the way across the top up here. So all new load-bearing members, but there's a really big surprise about the garage in the back. Okay, so let's get into it. What the hell does the thumbnail mean? What have I been trying to show you? Well, it's very simple. I have two cars in my garage. Both of them are Grand Tourers. We have a 1994 manual twin turbo Supra, Mark IV if you will. We also have a twin turbo 3.3 litre Kia Stinger. They have a hell of a lot in common, and they also need quite a bit of work. Now, the Stinger, not so much. It's more service work, maintaining it. It's about to come up to the end of its warranty, so I need to decide what I want to do with this car. And that means a possibility of a whole lot more mods, or maybe upgrading to something a little higher tier. And the same with the Supra, the same story with this car. This car needs an epic amount of restoration. It has been driven to hell and back. I will do an intro video on this car alone, because oh my God, is this one, it's been abused. It's done what a car is supposed to do. But of course, I can't do any work. I can't do any service work on the Stinger, and I can't do any restoration, massive work required on the Supra, unless I have a place to do it in. And the place to do it in is this garage. Now, this garage is fantastic. It's very much an ordinary home garage. This is what you will find in almost any home in Australia. You'll find it in most homes in America. In fact, in America, you probably have a hell of a lot bigger than this. Same in Australia. But in the UK, this is rare. You do not find a lot of garages like this. Most people don't even use garages. They often only have a single one. That's if they're lucky. A lot of places just have a driveway, park their cars out the front, and that's it. Yes, even super expensive supercars get parked out in the driveway in the UK. It does happen. Most car enthusiasts will have a place like this, but the non-car enthusiasts, they don't care. So this garage is very important. It is a place that's fairly rare in the UK, a double garage which will easily accommodate two cars. It has an epic amount of space in it for the UK, and it's going to be used for cars. This place wasn't. When we first bought it, this place was a dump, and it's a lot worse than it looks now. Now, you might be thinking to yourself, well, big deal, it's a garage. Who cares? It's just a garage. It's a garage in the making. There is going to be a whole garage build going on here, and we've already started, because just in case you're not aware, that's not the front of the garage. You might think it is. No, the front of the garage is here, you're starting to see what we've done already. We had tradesmen come in and replace this whole section. This was 2 separate garage doors with a big concrete pillar in the middle. It made life impossible in here for parking cars. We decided to get rid of the damn pillar, put in a whole new RSJ or load bearing beam and an entire new front single garage door. It's made a world of difference. It is phenomenal. But we didn't stop there. Now, this is the part we had to use tradies. Everything else we're going to do ourselves, but we couldn't do this on our own, and that was put in a second back door. The idea is very simple. We drive the car in through the front and then we can bring it through the back here. Now you might be thinking, what's the point? Well, you see, we might end up with more than 2 cars, and this allows us to take cars out the back. Now, the back is a massive work in progress. Let me show you what it is. We've been working on this for a while, but it is literally probably only 5% done. The rear door is a manual door, but it allows us to actually have a complete drive-through experience. Have a look at that. We've got storage out there for the cars. We've got a ground mat that's already in, and that is going to have grass on it. We're going to have a nice grass lawn out there with this reinforced drive mat. We'll drive the cars in, we'll be able to drive them around, and we will be able to have a multi-car garage, especially if we get classic cars involved. All of the walls in here have to be painted. And that brings me to today's task. You see, what we're planning on doing today is the first of our own personalization, if you like, our little changes that are going to add up to be massive amount of work on this garage. Now, if you look around, it's just brick. At the moment, it's brick walls. It is a standard garage door. There is nothing in here to really shout about. The roof, well, yeah, the roof's a bit of a disaster. We'll talk about that later because we're going to go through this with you. You're going to get to see the whole build of this garage and what I plan to do with it, because I need it to be a very cool automotive place. I need it to be a home for this car and a home for this car. But at the same time, it's got to be multi-purpose functional. Okay, let's just go through the list of tasks that we have to do in this garage because, holy crap, is there a lot. It is a massive job and I could really use your input on exactly what you think I should do. Now, number one, this is not going to be a home gym. It is not going to be a gaming room. It is a place for cars. That's why it's called a garage. It will be an automotive hub for our little mini fleet, if you like, which is going to expand. And we'll talk about that in the separate videos for each of the cars. But in the meantime, here in this room, we have to make some significant changes. We've got to paint all the walls. So let's just go through what those changes are. As I mentioned, all the walls need to be painted. We've got to paint all of them. We've got to paint this door. We've got to change the door over here, the actual side door. We need to paint these walls. We need to fix up all this shelving or replace it. We need to do the same with the shelving on this side. We need to get stuff that's hidden down the back of the car on the other side out. And we've also got to paint this one. We also need to put on some doors on the other side of this. When I say doors, I don't want to give away much. You're going to have to wait and watch. They're going to be spectacular, but we're going to have, I'm going to call them glazing or glazed doors for now. You'll understand when we put them in. That could be a bit of a way away, but it is coming. At the same time, the floor's got to change. We can't keep this floor. Let's leave it at that. You're going to get an impression as we go through and do it. Now, I need you to help me with this. I need to know what would work in the service side of things. What should that look like? Do I do it as a bitumen style floor? Should I do a kind of tiled floor, one of those garage tile jobs? Do I paint this a different color? Do I put flags in? Do I put decals in? What kind of equipment should I put in? We've got the standard stuff, so we've got jacks and we've got axle stands, and I'm playing around with the idea of a little scissor lift to lift the car up as well. So we're looking at building this side of the garage out. Obviously, as the garage expands and potentially more cars come in, we're going to be taking them through out here. So that's another scope of work that's just massive. You will have seen the little clip of it before. The scale is huge. The task is massive. I've got to get started on it. So today's job is these ones here, these shelves, these ones here. I've got to detach them all from the wall. I've got to move them all away. I've got to clean the wall. Well, technically I cleaned it already off camera. You won't have seen that. And then I've got to paint it. So the paint is ready. I've got to get in here, paint this whole section. We've got the new shelving on order, on the way. It could be a while, so these might stay here for a little bit, and then we're going to put all the new shelving in. This area is going to have some specialist portable stuff, fold up stuff. I won't say too much, you're going to have to wait and see. And this side is going to be a multi-function side. This door here, which is currently just a plain normal external door, we might change that to glazing just to let some more light come through. And we can't do that with these doors because this door here is actually insulated. Yep, this is a heavy duty insulation, and it is the same on this door here. This is also insulated. So this garage now can seal up and actually get properly warm. Now we're not planning on boarding up the roof. The roof, well, it's a disaster. It is. It's the worst part about this roof. Let me try and grab the camera and show you. Up here in the roof, we have this epic amount of bugs and spiders and all kinds of crap, and it is a nightmare. So I've got to go through and clean the entire roof, and then I've got to paint it. All these rafters, all these beams, yeah, the plan is to paint them a different color to the walls, and very potentially even the felt that lines underneath the roof, we're going to try and paint. Yes, it's a mammoth task. Yes, it's a utterly enormous amount of time. It's not much cost. It is fairly cheap. Paint doesn't cost a lot. It's just time and effort. So we're going to go through, rip all this stuff out. We are going to clean the whole thing up, paint all the walls, change the floor, put some front doors on it. I shouldn't call them the front. It's more rear doors, but the whole thing's going to change. We'll get to that later. In the meantime, I need to get on with some work. So yeah, stay tuned, stand by. There's a mountain of work to come on the Supra, which will be a huge build series on how we restore it, because we may not be able to go the traditional direction on that. And there's a possibility that some of you may even be able to get your hands on it, but we'll talk about that in its own video. The Stinger, well, it's got its own path as well. We'll go through that in another video. We did do some videos earlier on, and I think I'm going to pull them down and redo them. They were great concepts, poorly executed because, well, I didn't have the equipment and I didn't really know how to do much on YouTube. Taught me a lot, and I'm going to do it all again here now. So hopefully you're going to see some massive changes in this garage soon. All of this is going to be changed. All of this is going to change. We're going to have a hell of a garage. Stay tuned, watch. I'm going to get changed and we're going to get cracking on that wall. Let's go.
Let's go.
And here's a really short glimpse into that process. We're doing the first coat of white on these walls. It's very simple, paintbrush, roller, get the paint on, and before you know it, job's done.
Jerk and I'm not even.
Okay guys, we're going to wrap it up there. It's been a bit of a long day. I haven't got anywhere near as much done as I wanted, but I did get quite a bit done. Check it out. This wall now has a single coat of white all over it. So as you can see, we made it white. Now I didn't get to the door or the door frame, but that's all going to change as well. It may even have a different door in it, but that's going to change. So all of this got done, all of that got done. And that's pretty much a wrap for today. I've given you an intro as to what we're going to be doing here. This entire garage is going to change. That wall's next. And of course, there's videos coming up on the Stinger. So we're going to be doing quite a few videos on, well, what the plan with the Stinger, including some service work and just some possible little upgrades. But there's more to come on that. There's a whole lot of changes that may not even stay. And that's the same as the story with this one. This one, I'll be honest, I don't think this car's going to stay. It's going to have to go. And how it goes is going to be a big part up to you. I need your input on it. I also need your input on how I restore this thing, because it's a big challenge, but we'll get to that in its own video. For now, I've done enough. I'm going to check out. I've got too many other things to do. So thank you so much for watching. If you have enjoyed any parts of these videos, don't forget to subscribe, like, and comment. Simon out.